Exactly. The whole thing, it's like dessert. If you can live without cake, that's fantastic, and I'm jealous of you for it. But if you are like me and you do need some sugar in your life, you can eat it. But just, when you act, do you want it because you want it, or do you want it just because it's there?
Yeah. Hi, Mohini.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Welcome back again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you came back. Our last talk was very, very effective. Especially the one on reading that you talked about. I was like, oh my God, it's such, the viewers love that
thank you.
talk.
Thank you.
And I think you have a lot to share. So there is one thing, it's been in my thought process for a long time. I love social media. I use it a lot, but I have a feeling that, just a kind of a gut feeling that it has effects. And one of the effects I feel is that there's an acronym, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. But is it a real thing? And if it is a real thing, is it affecting many generations, or is it only affecting one generation? So I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, that's a good question. So FOMO, it is absolutely real, and I want to highlight it has existed throughout time, but it absolutely is exacerbated by social media and the internet at large.
Okay.
I think, with your generation, social media has only come about in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, so I grew up without it until high school.
Okay.
And only now, in the last few years, it's become this huge thing.
Huge thing, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Gen Z and beyond, who I feel like have had all this their whole lives.
They're probably born with the cell phones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I feel for them, because I feel like they don't know what life was like before that. And I think it's probably making them a lot unhappier than our generation.
Yeah. And why, I can understand what you're saying. Why does it's fun watching, it's fun going to Facebook or Instagram and watching stuff that instant fun is there. You watch something like a celeb or some video or something you're watching. But then why does it cause some unhappiness? What causes? Because there is instant fun. When you eat a chocolate, there's happiness, right?
Yeah.
But what is the problem with that? Yeah. Afterwards,
So I think as humans, we're evolved to compare ourselves to everyone all the time, as it is. The issue with social media, it's not evil in itself. There's a lot of good in it, but it's just that because you can expose yourself to so many people and ideas and things in such a short amount of time, our brains can't handle that.
Yeah.
I can compare myself with one person in the room, but if I compare myself with 100 people at 7 a.m. in the morning, how do you think my day is going to go?
Yeah. So what should one do then? Because it's a necessary evil. You have to use it for staying up to date, for, even for news and for knowledge. And how do you make sure it doesn't affect you adversely?
That's a good question. I just first want to preface by saying that I do acknowledge it is a need for many, especially for their careers.
Yeah.
But I think there are some who fortunately can live without it. And I think the people that don't have it in their lives, I've personally noticed, seem to be a lot happier than those who use it more.
Okay.
But I think for those who use it, I see it as dessert. It's nice, it's fun to have. But it's fleeting satisfaction. It's not not going to give you long-term joy most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a treat to have once in a while. I think it's just about limiting the amount you use it.
Okay.
And when you do use it effectively.
Yeah. So how do you use it effectively?
So first, I want to preface, so a lot of the things I'm going to say are from this book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. I've mentioned it before, and
Yes.
I think it's been such a good book to read, and I highly
Okay.
recommend it. So in the book, he talks about, trying an experiment where you go off all your social media for an entire month.
Okay.
And before you go offline, you unfollow like all the accounts that are not your friends. So let's say like, musicians, celebrities, etc.
Okay.
Yeah. And see how you do.
For
And
a
then-
month.
Yeah, for a month. And then when you come back, only think about what are the things that I actually truly missed seeing. Like, and I went and followed those accounts again. So I think
Okay.
I unfollowed maybe close to 100 accounts initially, and when it came back, I only followed like 3 to 4
Okay.
of those other accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically, you turn off your phone in the morning, but you're not going to the social media websites. You're doing the messaging that for 1 month, right? Is that what you're saying?
And I don't turn off my phone. It's
Okay.
just that I like deleted my Instagram and Facebook, Reddit,
Okay.
whatever, for an
Okay.
entire
All-
month.
okay.
Yeah.
So turn off those apps basically,
those-
or
those
just
apps,
those
yeah.
apps. Okay. The phone is on. You need for work or people like it's just, this is one of the things that it's for communication, but you're not out there all the time. right?
Exactly, yeah. And I found that I don't need it per se, but it definitely makes things a lot easier at times. Like if I
Okay.
wanted to see my friends' wedding pictures, for instance, it's a lot easier for me to go on Instagram and then see her album there than for me to WhatsApp her and then she has to take the effort to send the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and especially for staying in light touch with certain acquaintances or friends who live in a different country from you, I found it's been very helpful for that. So I found a strategy that works for me, and maybe it'll work for others. So
Yeah.
I try to go on just once a week max.
Okay.
2 if there's something very urgent, which there rarely is.
Yeah.
And I'll think about like what I want to see beforehand. So I'll say like, okay, so my friend just got a new puppy. I want to see the pictures. My other friend just got married. I want to look at this one writer for some inspiration, something like that.
Okay.
And then I'll go and look at those. And then I'll only look at like some of my close friends, some of their things, or if there's somebody I've like haven't seen in a while and I thought about, I'll be like,
Okay.
oh, let me just see where they are these days, what they're up to.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also unfollowed, this is controversial, but I unfollowed a lot of people too that I know. And it's nothing personal. It's just that I only like want social media as a way for me to like connect with people in real life. So I only follow friends of mine or acquaintances who I like and would like to get to know better.
Okay.
My criteria is if I found out they were in my town, would I want to grab a cup of coffee with them and get to know
Okay.
them better?
Okay.
And I've done that with people before, and I've ended up sparking friendships that way.
Okay. So you still feel like meeting in person is still the number one way to know
Absolutely.
a person,
Yeah.
right?
In person, I'm also going to include things like FaceTime and phone calls as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah.
So one-on-one conversation.
one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay. That is still, I think that like looking at each other, whether it's phone or FaceTime or if in person is the best, but that's only possible if you are in the same city and probably like 5-10 minutes from each other, right?
Exactly.
Even if it's like 30 minutes, you're going to think about going and meeting, right? Or 45 minutes or so. So you are saying like keeping it off for a month gave you that time to reflect basically, right?
Yeah. And also, I just noticed like I felt a lot more peaceful. I was more present in the world.
All right.
And also, something interesting happened. When I was off social media, people had to make more of an effort to get in touch with me.
Okay.
So the ones that did, I realized were like my deeper friendships, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't see what you were doing. So
Yeah.
you know how it is.
They were the ones who would, WhatsApp me the album of pictures or something like that. Yeah.
Or they'll ask you like, where are you, and haven't seen you for a while or something because you haven't posted anything for some time, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So what you are saying is, which I understand, is that it's okay to set a time aside and if it's set assignment, think about what you're going to do there, not like go all around like without any focus, right? So you have already a focus. I'm going to go there for online for 15 minutes, and these are the things I'm going to look at specifically. For example, like friend's wedding, or like puppy you said, or something milestone or anything, right? And that way it will not be like you're all over the place.
Exactly.
So fixed times, right?
Yeah, and I don't have to look at everybody's Instagram stories. You pick and choose. There's some people that I didn't like unfollow completely. I just muted them because there are people that maybe I'm not close to and don't have any desire to be friends with.
Yeah.
But I would be interested what they're doing with their career in 5-6 years, and I might want to check.
Okay.
So those people I mute, and then I might check on now and then if I'm curious to see.
Okay. So that also can be done, being muting for some time and then going back on to find out, right?
Yeah, so that everything, the key is everything you do is intentional.
All right.
Yeah, and something I found with FOMO is that when I went back to social media, I felt that every minute I'm spending on there, I'm missing out on things I could be doing in my real life.
Okay.
Yeah, like meeting a friend in person or reading or whatever.
Okay, or like spending time with family, or like going to gym or things like that, right?
Exactly. Reverse FOMO, if you have it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you said the results, you could sense it only when you left it, right? That's how it is, right? You could realize it when you left it for some time, and you said, yeah, it wasn't that I had to be on it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even there are some great apps too that I would recommend. So one is called Freedom.
Okay.
So you can add it to Chrome as well as your phone. And then you can set timers to like block certain websites or apps for X amount of time.
All right.
So I found that helpful too. And then another one called Newsfeed Eradicator. Okay. So you can set it so that like when you go onto certain websites, say Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, you don't see the news feed. So that way you have to actually think about what you want to see and then go to that directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know.
Yeah, and you spend less time on them too. Yeah.
I feel like people are walking with reading on the phones, and I'm like, what's happening to this world? Like even the neck, everyone's just looking down. Like our necks are going to go back down, like we barely came back up. Like you know how it is, always looking at the phone, our neck is going to get affected too, right?
Exactly.
Especially the young kids, because always looking at something, and it is addictive. It has that addictive thing. That's why there's always constant change, right? So there are tools you can use to be on it, but use it in a smarter way.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And you're right about how these apps, what's the word? They have this algorithm that makes it addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll show you maybe like the top 10 best looking people at the top of your feed. You feel insecure, so then you feel the need to buy makeup and clothes.
Oh yeah. That is true. Yeah, because you're always shopping now, because there is no, the fashion keeps changing, and even the styles, and there's so many filters that they use. Like even if you buy the best brands and everything, it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like an ongoing thing. And you're off your budget, and now you've spent so much, and you're still not close to, because they're professional photographers, professional makeup artists who do everything. It's not going to be the same as if you're just kind of doing it yourself, or because there's experts available to dress up in the right way, right? So so using social media is good. It's good for keeping up to date. It's good for staying in touch. It's from far away. It's good for basically knowing what's happening, but it has to be in moderation. Like,
exactly,
right? That's what I understood.
And then going on that concept, so first I talked about FOMO with people, and now the other is FOMO with keeping up with the latest things happening in the world. So that was the thing I was more concerned about when I went offline. Like, how am I going to keep up to date on things? But then I realized that we still learn this stuff even before social media existed. You can get things directly from the source. Like you check the news website, you can get the news. If something major on the computer, yeah, or newspaper, whatever.
Yeah.
And if something major happens, regardless of what sphere, you're going to hear about it through word of mouth. People are going to be talking in real life.
Yeah. So it's not like things are the world is going to change without you knowing it.
Yeah, you will find out. Yeah.
Okay.
And even things like there's other ways to stay connected, like with things you love. Like you can sign up for email newsletters from your favorite band so you know when they're in town next.
Okay.
Or like even like Apple Music or these other things, they'll tell you when new music drops from your favorite musician.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can set up those notification system.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not completely, when you go back online, it's not like a lot of things have happened and you missed out.
Exactly. And like you will miss out on the little things, but you'll find that they're so trivial. Like you won't care about them in even like a week's time. Like memes, I don't care about at all anymore. If somebody sends me one, I'll laugh, but I won't go actively searching them out.
So in a nutshell, just summarize everything for me, like about, so FOMO, just everything. Like
Okay.
what do you, as just a user, what should be done to use it effectively and to not feel the anxiety after or before or after using social media?
First, acceptance that anything you do in life comes with that opportunity cost of FOMO. And then second, these websites, they're designed to make you compare yourself more and feel more FOMO so that you buy things to feel better.
Yeah.
Right? And then the third is that it's okay, assess whether you actually need it. If you don't need it and you think you can go without it, go off these social media completely. If not, you can still use it, but limit it. And think about what you use it for specifically, and only use it for that purposes. But on the last note, I will say about, once every few weeks, I schedule what I call rabbit hole time, where I can go on any social media platform I want for as long as I want, and I can just find new things. So that way you can like learn about new things, satisfy your curiosity, but keep it to a reasonable amount.
Okay. So you said how much time you said? What's that called? You said?
I call it rabbit hole time because you can go down the rabbit hole.
Like are in a burrow, you've been inside and no one is disturbing.
You go on one Wikipedia page and it leads you to another, to YouTube video, so on and so forth. So that's why it's a rabbit hole. So basically everything you want to do.
Yeah. It's like junk food, right? You eat everything and you're happy then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah, so maybe like an hour, like once every 3 to 4 weeks, I found was plenty for me. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So, what do you call a little bit of, do whatever you like, go to a buffet basically, right? It's
exactly.
like going to a buffet and eating to your heart, but now you're satisfied, so you can be healthy eating again, right?
Exactly. The whole thing, it's like dessert. If you can live without cake, that's fantastic, and I'm jealous of you for it. But if you are like me and you do need some sugar in your life, you can eat it. But just when you act, do you want it because you want it, or do you want it just because it's there?
Yeah. If your heart is actually saying you need it, then you need it, right? But if you were just eating it because it's there, then that's something not good.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just intentionality is the bottom line.
All right. I'm always learning a lot from you.
Thank you.
So it's good to know from a different perspective. It's like, because I keep thinking about these topics and I'm like, I need to know, like, is it affecting everybody or is it only affecting me? Because when you feel, I feel like, we've been using it, like we're happy using it. It's exciting, whenever you get up in the morning, when you're ready and, okay, I'm having a cup of coffee. Let me just see. It gives that instant happiness. But then there is I've seen the anxiety level has gone up a little bit. So which I feel like, and I also feel like being an adult, it's different, and as a kid it might be there is some guidance needed then, I feel like. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, what do you feel like, how do you take care of it? And just like, and I think it's going to benefit all the viewers who want to watch it, especially young kids, teenagers or, older kids, you can manage it with some strategies, which you talked about today, going offline and using it when you can use it a lot in the rabbit hole, but don't be in the rabbit hole all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Not like, okay, 16 hours you're in the rabbit hole. It's like a fixed time, but then you are taking care of other things which are in your life, right? More effectively.
Yeah. Those 16, rabbit hole hours, you could see it as like, when I'm on there, I have the fear of missing out, the FOMO, of 16 hours of real life conversations with my friends and family.
Yeah. And those real life could be in person or phone call. Those are still counted as real life conversations, right?
Exactly.
But it's still more effective communication than just watching quietly something happening, right?
Yes.
It's more interactive, right?
Exactly.
You can share more and you can express your thought process or your, what's happening and how's life and things like that, right?
Exactly.
All right. Anything else, Mohini? Anything else? Any closing comments or?
Yeah, I just want to end that, like, I don't want to demonize social media because there's a lot of good that can come from it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just being mindful of how you use it is important.
Like any other thing, right? Like, for example, like when we eat food, right? So we are mindful of what we are doing.
Yes.
Or our thought processes, like we have to think good, things like that. So basically what you're saying is be mindful, use it. There's nothing wrong with social media. It's a good thing to have, but manage your time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, even just putting a Post-it on your, computer that's saying that, social media equals cake or alcohol. I think you'll get the message each time you go on.
Like a little thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Those are little strategies that can help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you have a fundamental shift in your mindset, that trickles down to every area of your life.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me, Mohini.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
If you wanna talk about anything at all, then you know who to call. Just tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Just tell Sanjana.